Mom adopted 2 children. Months later she learned who they really are. Katie couldn't imagine what she was landing herself into. After she adopted the babies, she learned a horrifying truth about them. Katie Smith from Alabama was in her mid-30s and already going through a tough phase of her life. Her marriage had came to an end, and she felt unfulfilled. Katie had been on the lookout for a new start when she decided that it was time for a huge change. This is the reason she relocated even though she had opportunities and friends in Alabama. She ended up landing a job that sounded like the solution to her problems. Katie relocated to Denver, Colorado. There, she started a job in the world of commercial construction. On paper, her position was Integrated Service Manager for a construction company called G.E. Johnson. Katie felt optimistic about the decision she made, even more so after she purchased a 4-bedroom fixer-upper house that needed a number of renovations, which she decided to take on by herself. She remembered telling a friend that this huge home was meant for more, although she had yet to figure out what that meant for her. Even though her marriage had to end, she thought there might be other opportunities waiting for her. She was hesitant to get the ball rolling, though she had many options in mind. While Katie felt hesitant, she was aware that there was something she could do to improve her situation. The renovation project kept her motivated and busy, but it did not give her the satisfaction she wanted. She thought that changing jobs and buying a new house would give her a new perspective. Maybe it did, but it didn't give Katie exactly what she was looking for. She was looking for a new direction in life, so Katie started looking into the process of fostering kids. She loved kids and thought it could give her a real purpose in life. She had always wanted to be a mom, but Mother Nature just wasn't on board. Perhaps it had a different plan for her. She got a letter from a local church she had recently joined. It mentioned an upcoming seminar discussing a program for fostering kids in need. Immediately she felt a stirring in her heart and was attracted by such an idea. Deep down, she felt this was her calling. The meeting about foster care at church tugged at her heartstrings. While she still felt nervous about such an undertaking, the possibility also made her heart feel full. What better way to start her journey than on Mother's Day? She'd filled out her application form and it ended up changing her life forever. With an ending comes the opportunity to start anew. This drastic life change offered her the possibility of taking her life in a new direction. Being a single woman who was new to the area, she had to weigh out her options before heading straight into it. She would first have to navigate the area and then navigate motherhood itself. Despite this, she knew it was the right choice. Not long after she filed her application, she started to receive cases. The foster children that she received were not just children without parents, but they were also children who experienced trauma when they were still very young. The next year, Katie fostered 4 kids. She found herself eager to adopt a child of her own. She was content with serving as a foster parent, but she decided to make parenthood a more permanent facet of her life. From fostering kids, she wanted to adopt one. Only 2 weeks after talking to her caseworker about her desire, she got a phone call about a child who was abandoned by his biological mother at a hospital nearby. The newborn was just 4 days old. Katie then told her caseworker, "I want him," and asked the worker to try not to contact anyone else about the baby. Within a day of getting that call, her caseworker contacted her again. Katie answered the phone, hoping she was granted rights to be his foster mother. That same day she walked out of the nearby hospital, the 4-day-old boy in her arms. It turns out that doctors found that the little boy was exposed to illegal substances when he was in utero. He might have been exposed to substances, but it was a good thing he was not showing withdrawal symptoms yet. After some tests, they revealed that he was not going to suffer long-term effects. It was time for them to move on now, so Katie decided that she would have to give her all if she wanted to take care of this new baby, and so she did. Since he was abandoned at only 4 days of age, he didn't have a name yet. Katie searched online for hours looking for the perfect name for this beautiful baby she was caring for. When she first took him home with her, she only referred to him as baby boy for days. She didn't have a lot of time to think of something to name him, which is why she decided to call him by her favorite boy name, Johnny. As days went on, she started to realize that true motherhood was her calling. She felt her soul tell her that she should raise him as her own child. This ultimately led Katie to make the decision to become a full-time parent. She knew it would be very different than fostering, but she was ready to go the next step, and adopt Johnny as her son. Since she had been taking care of him since he was only 4 days old, he managed to take a special place in her heart. Johnny stayed with her for nearly a year as caseworkers tried to track down his biological parents. They looked far and wide for his mother and father, but couldn't find them. They put up ads in the newspaper and on Facebook but did not get any responses. After some time, Johnny finally got a shot at a loving home. He became the legal son of Katie when he was 11 months old. They had no idea that their life together was just about to start. It's something that Katie looked forward to and started feeling a little fulfilled. Johnny required Katie's full attention because he was struggling both physically and developmentally thanks to the substance exposure he suffered. She did sometimes feel like her family was not yet complete, but she waited until her son was 18 months old before she took in one more foster kid. Katie then received multiple emails and calls about potential placements now that her home was open once more. She knew that she wanted to expand her little family. She hoped to focus on her baby boy for the time being. Johnny deserved nothing less than her undivided attention, so she gave him just that. She threw a little party for him where he thoroughly enjoyed his birthday cake. A month after Katie decided to adopt Johnny, she received a phone call out of the blue. The person on the other end informed Katie that there was another newborn who was abandoned by her mother who was in need of a loving home. Just like her son, Maxine was also exposed to substances when she was in the womb. Interestingly, she was at the same hospital where Johnny was found. She knew that helping out was the right thing to do, but still wanted to focus on her son. Katie could not help but feel anxious and nervous, but her instincts told her to open up her heart and consider taking in the baby girl at the hospital. In only a matter of hours, they dropped off Maxine from the hospital, and the little girl met Katie and Johnny for the first time. After Katie welcomed her into the house, she noticed the name of the mother written on the baby bracelet. It turned out to be the same name she found on Johnny's. She looked over the baby's discharge papers and soon noticed that her birth mother had a similar birth date as her little boy's biological mother. Maxine also had similar medical conditions and substance exposure that Johnny had. Even though Maxine and Johnny did not look alike, she had a suspicion that the two were related in some way. Johnny is half African American with beautiful white skin and dark curly hair, the mother posted on her blog. She continued, "Baby girl has a pale white skin tone with straight red blonde hair." While the two kids did not look anything alike, Katie still thought that something was off. Katie was determined to get to the bottom of it. That she took it upon herself to track down Maxine's birth mother. Katie even approached her caseworker and told her that she thought Maxine and Johnny had the same birth mother. However, she was told that this did not seem likely. For all they knew, the chances of that was slim and probably 1,000,000 to 1. She requested to take over Maxine's case as well. After months of searching for an answer, she finally tracked down and met up with Maxine's birth mother. Katie was anxious when she visited the biological mother of her daughter. As soon as they met up, she could tell that she was the same person who gave birth to her son as well. The moment she saw Maxine's birth mother, Katie said that she knew instantly that this was also the same woman who birthed her beautiful son. However, she told herself to keep calm and not to jump to conclusions. During the conversation, the birth mother told her some information that confirmed what she suspected from the start. The woman said that she also gave birth to a boy who she gave up without records. Katie asked her more questions and learned that the woman had a couple of children. She had another baby boy, whom she did not report to the authorities. After the meeting, Katie told the social worker everything she learned. The caseworker confirmed that the last name the birth mother gave matched the last name of someone related to Maxine. The pieces were finally coming into place, but they had to wait for one more test that would confirm her hunch. The results of the DNA test revealed that Maxine and Johnny were siblings with the same birth mother. Katie was amazed by the fact that she ended up with these two children by coincidence. What if the baby girl had gone to another family? She asked in a blog post. We would have never found her or Johnny's mother. The connection would have never been made. I could not believe the miracle that had just happened. After confirming that the two children were actually biological siblings, she knew it was only right for them to stay together. Together with Johnny and Maxine, Katie went to a courtroom for a hearing. After this, it was finally official. Maxine was her daughter by law and would grow up with her biological brother. The three of them were a family, and Katie could not be happier to help reunite these two siblings.